does the Quran show me one inconsistency?
One inconsistency.
Show me one.
Well, the Quran doesn't say that.
Show me in the Quran. No. Show me in the Quran an inconsistency between the Quran, not between the Bible.
All right, let's look at 3 contradictions in the Quran. So Surah 35:18 is very clear that no soul burdened with sin will bear the burden of another, not even their closest relative. But Surah 16:25 says, let them bear their burdens in full on the day of judgment, as well as some of the burdens of those they misled without knowledge. This is a clear contradiction because there actually is a group of people who can bear the burden of others. It's those who mislead others without knowledge. They can not only bear their own burden, but also those who they've misled. Surah 3:7 says that there are verses that are precise, and then there's others that are elusive or ambiguous. However, Surah 41:3 implies that the Quran is a book whose verses are perfectly explained. Period. So which one is it? Are all of the verses perfectly explained like in Surah 41:3? Or are some ambiguous like in Surah 3:7? This one I find really fascinating. Surah 6:101 says this, how could he have children when he has no mate, referring to God? So this implies he would need a mate in order to have a child. Yet Mary asks him the same question in Surah 19, how is she going to have a child without a mate? But Allah lets her know that it's actually very easy for him to give her a child without a mate. So which one is it? Can Allah create a child without a mate or not? Or can he only do it for others but not himself? To make things even weirder, Surah 39:4 implies that he could have a child if he wanted to. However, the verse seems to state an offspring coming more of like an adoption, that he would choose from what he's already created to be his offspring. So he could have offspring, but he'd have to adopt it because he doesn't have a mate, so he couldn't make an actual offspring. But he could make an actual offspring for somebody else who doesn't have a mate. This is the epitome of inconsistent. Because there are inconsistencies and contradictions and things like these all over the Quran. The guy in this video was just betting on the notion that the Christian he was talking to had never read the Quran before. But if you pick up the Quran and just start reading through it, you'll see inconsistencies all throughout it.
How long did it take Allah to create the universe? According to Surah 7 verse 54, it took 6 days. According to Surah 41 verses 9 to 12, it took 8 days. What did Allah create first, the heavens or the earth? According to Surah 2 verse 29, the earth was created first, then the heavens. According to Surah 79 verses 27 to 30, the heavens were created first, then the earth. Who was the first Muslim? Surah 6 verse 14 says that Muhammad was the first Muslim. Surah 7 verse 143 says that Moses was the first Muslim. And yet the Quran also declares that Adam and Abraham were Muslims. The Quran tells us in Surah 10 verse 47 that Allah has sent a messenger to every nation. The Quran tells us in Surah 2 verses 125 to 129 that Abraham and Ishmael came to Arabia where they built the Kaaba. And yet Surah 28 verse 46 claims that Muhammad was the first messenger to come to the Arabs. According to Surah 4 verse 48, committing shirk is unforgivable. Later, in the same surah, verse 153, Allah forgives people for committing shirk. Surah 16 verse 103 tells us that the Quran is written in pure Arabic, and yet there are many foreign words in the Quran. Surah 2 verse 62 says that Jews and Christians don't need to fear because we will be accepted by Allah. Surah 3 verse 85 says that the only religion accepted by Allah is Islam. What is man created from? Surah 19 verse 67 says that man was created from nothing. Surah 96 verse 2 says that man was created from a clot of blood. Surah 21 verse 30 says that man was created from water. Surah 16 verse 4 says that man was created from a small seed. Surah 15 verse 26 says that man was created from clay and mud. Surah 3 verse 59 says that man was created from dust. Surah 11 verse 61 says that man was created from earth. Will intercession be possible on the day of judgment? According to Surah 20 verse 109, Surah 34 verse 23, and Surah 43 verse 86, yes. According to Surah 2 verse 123, Surah 6 verse 51, and Surah 82 verse 19, no. What happened to Pharaoh when he was chasing the Israelites? Surah 10 verse 92 says that Allah saved him. Surah 17 verse 103 says that he drowned. And of course we have many abrogated verses in the Quran, verses that were revealed to Muhammad, but were later canceled by other verses. Surah 2 verse 256 says that there is no compulsion in religion. Surah 9 verse 29 says, fight those who do not believe in Allah. According to Surah 4, verse 43, Muslims are allowed to drink alcohol as long as they don't show up for prayer drunk. According to Surah 5, verse 90, Muslims aren't allowed to drink alcohol. Surah 4, verse 15 tells us that the penalty for sexual sin is house arrest. Surah 24, verse 2 tells us that the penalty for sexual sin is 100 lashes.